finally the van is getting tuned. So I'm here today at Project Performance. Steph was nice enough to offer to tune the car. So we'll see if we can get this thing to run properly. As you can see, it likes to stall. Know how to drive auto, man? I forgot, bro. I look for the car. Anyway, while we're here, we'll have a look at some cars. This, finally, I get to see one in person, is the new Yaris. I think this is Arthur from Tuner's Edge's car. So I haven't seen one of these in person. They look so good. What do we got down here? Also, anyone wanting anything done here, I'll put all these details in the description anyway. But hit up Stefan. Any fab work, mechanical work, tuning, anything like that, parts. Very, very nice 180. I'm pretty sure this is actually Drew's old car. Now, Drew sold this and moved interstate. Pussy! This is actually a very, very fast car. I'm pretty sure this made like 400 kilowatt or so.
A bit of torque, son?
No, check the back.
No, I know this.
Door nearly fell off.
Mate, she's got too much power. Woo! Hey, I'm not gonna lie, the strapping actually looks okay, but it's obviously not tight enough. Hey, if a wheel spins, we might have to redo it because you're pulling it on a funny angle. I didn't see it before. Yeah. So when you lift it, it's straightening.
I didn't want to. Brake line.
Well, I just reefed it. Alright, do another run. We'll do 2 more runs back to back. See what we get. We'll go 3 runs back to back. It looks like a turbo boost curve. Yeah, the converter.
Do you tell what starts converter like this?
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like roughly?
Yeah. If you had RPM scaled into it, you could get an idea.
I don't know what I would to be honest.
Well, it's definitely got a converter in it.
The guy said 3700.
Yeah, it probably is around that.
It doesn't sound that big. It sounds small.
It honestly sounds pretty big.
Really?
Yeah. It's different though with an NA versus like a boosted thing, because a boosted one will naturally stretch it past like 3.7, and NA only makes X amount of torque, so it won't let it go.
The XE felt massive.
Probably, what was it, a 5?
4500.
It's massive, bro.
Yeah,
it's another 1,000 RPM.
It's not moving. Something very interesting in the shop at the moment is this NSX. It's actually got a twin turbo kit on it. A very crappy made twin turbo kit. I would show you guys the exhaust if I can find it. Like, this looks super weird without panels and stuff in it. Here you go. So this is the turbo kit. That was on an NSX.
So that's our third base run with the old tune. Now John's going to work his magic and see what we can get out of it.
I have to come over here to talk. The mixture of the car and the fan, Jesus Christ. So what John's trying to do now is just to get it not to stall anymore. He was saying that when you hit the brakes, it's drawing like a lot of vacuum, and that's probably what's making it stall when you come to a stop. So he's trying to figure that out at the moment.
Let's see how it cruises normal again.
So I've done a few runs. John got it to idle really well, which I'm really happy about. And he's just about to load up his map, and we'll go from there. We're having a food break at the moment, and Troy making an absolute mess everywhere. So I'm not going to pretend I know what I'm looking at here, but John was just explaining to me that these are the torque curves. So it's now making torque earlier. I don't know. This is way over my head.
It's holding it off.
So before, John thinks the auto was flaring a bit. So I've played with the auto and now it comes on harder. I don't know. This stuff's too technical for me, so it makes torque a lot more torque and earlier, and now it shifts hard. So I don't know what he's done with the auto, but, and it now does the stall. It pretty much makes the same power as it did before. Like when it first came in, first run was 227 and it's making 225, 226, like same thing every run. So I got a sheet for 235 or something, but every dyno is different, so it was about 15 kilowatts, so it's exactly the same as it was before power wise. There you go, John says picked up a little bit of power. So it's a powerhouse now is what you're saying?
It's picked up 5-6 kilowatts. The biggest difference obviously this part here from the previous ones, so it was running lean. If anyone understands lambda, they'll see what I mean. So once it come on, yeah, you can see that spot.
What did you say about my intake when I first got here?
It's hot. Is it getting hotter?
Yeah, he said it's getting hot intake air temps.
Yeah, lift it up in the air, make a big. You'll pick up 10 kilowatts.
I was going to cut a hole in the bonnet.
No, I'm just saying, just for data.
For the dyno sheet. In conclusion, it is now the next day, so I thought I would explain, because I'm sure all the people in the comments are going to be like this.
Magic and see what we can get out of it.
Bro, 227 kilowatt. My VX with headers makes more than that. The whole point of this car going on the dyno had nothing to do with power. It made great power. It obviously ran great at the drag strip, you know, did a good time, good mile an hour, as it should. A dyno should only be taken as a tuning tool. It should not be so concentrated on the number at the end of it. So the whole point of the car going on the dyno was to get it to drive properly. As you saw in a couple of videos, it would always stall when coming to a stop when it was warmed up. It always did that since the day I bought it. And the auto never shifted right. It was really lazy. Like, it doesn't have a shift kit or anything, but with these you can tune the auto. I actually contacted the last place that tuned this car before I bought it, with the old owner. He remembered the car and he told me that when he tuned it, he did not touch the auto at all. So it's as it would have come out in a VX or whatever the hell this engine was out of. So John played with the auto, got it to shift really nice, like more crisp and harder shifts, and it actually shifts when you shift it, which is good. And also got it to idle perfectly. So very happy with that. That was the whole point of putting it on the dyno. Also, Troy mentioned when I was at the drags last time, he was there, and he thought it sounded like it was detonating. So they went over the tune, just sort of cleaned it up a bit. So it made the exact same power pretty much as what it went in with. Those first runs you'll see in the video are with the old tune. It made 227, and it made after that 225, 226, same thing. One thing John did mention that was holding this car back big time is this. Now I will admit, a lot of people have said that in the comments since the first video I did on this car to get rid of that intake. And now it's sort of biting me in the ass. He said on the dyno with the bonnet up and the fans on, it was anywhere between 50 and 55 degrees intake air temps. And then when we took it for a drive after, bonnet shut and driving with the laptop connected, it was upwards of 70 degrees, which he said is not good at all. So I think I'm gonna look around at what OTRs fit really good without hacking anything up. You know, as long as I can just tilt the radiator back a bit and it fits nice, then I'll look into that. But I think I'm gonna run the car again at the drag strip first with the Mickey Thompsons and the new diff gears before I do anything else. So hopefully a hectic day soon. We'll see what pops up and when I have time. I've got a couple things that came in the mail. I'm gonna do a engine bay cleanup on this car. It just looks really messy. So I'll do an OTR. We're gonna do a cash can setup. I've got some fuel rails, black fuel rails. One thing, I have no idea where I'm gonna mount this catch can. I think I might end up getting rid of all this heater hose stuff. It's so ugly and bulky. I don't know whether to run VL style stuff, because VL heater hoses come like that out here and down the rail, but I'm not sure if they get too close to the headers. I don't want to burn through, melt something, or I just either loop them or block them off and just deal with having no heater. That doesn't bother me. I'll keep that stock stuff, you know, if I ever want to do a heater down the road. Where do people put catch cans? No idea. I've seen a lot of people here off the driver's side head with a bracket. I don't really like that. It would fit here, but I reckon it's too close to the headers, and if something does happen and you spit oil out the filter, you're just asking for a fire having it there. I thought about under here, but because the battery's there, that side of the body sits really low, whereas this side sits really high. So I'm thinking maybe here, under the wheel arch, but then the lines are really long. I don't know. Where would you put this stupid catch can? I have no idea. Anyway, hopefully the next video is at the drag strip. We'll see. Now, when I bought this car, I was told it had a GM Motorsports Turbo Killer cam, which is a really big cam. And this car has a really aggressive idle, but I don't know if that was just in the tune, because going by the numbers that it made on the dyno, Even previously, I have a sheet for it at another place for $245. I don't think it has a GM Motorsports Turbo Killer cam. Well, Troy doesn't reckon anyway. There's no way that it makes that low of a number with that cam. So I have no idea what cam's in it. Who knows? It does have a cam, but what it is, we have no idea, unless we pull it out. This video also shows, which is good to mention, so I have a dyno sheet in the glove box of this car from another place for 245 kilowatt. Now when we ran this car up as it was 245 kilowatt, on another dyno it made 227. So it just shows you how different dynos, blah 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 blah, just read different numbers. You can manipulate numbers, you can strap it differently, you can load it up differently on the dyno, and it's going to read different. So just don't be so on that number. Just as long as the thing drives right. And the only way to really determine power output, what I've been told, is go by the mile an hour, and you can sort of figure it out. Mile an hour at the drag strip with the weight and blah 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 blah, and you can figure out how much power it really has. A dyno is just a tuning tool. And of course, massive thanks to Steph, Troy and John at Project Performance. Steph for organising the tune and letting it all go down. Troy for hanging around. And John, I'm so sorry that I made you stay back till like 10 o'clock doing the car. I really appreciate it. If anyone wants any stuff done by there, they do fabrication, servicing, upgrades, tuning, anything you can think of, they do out of that shop. I'll put the link in the bottom. Project Performance. Hit them up. Anyway, see you guys next time.